What's happening? What's shaking? What's going on? This is Andy coming to you again from here at Andy's World of Bass. And today I'm going to just show you this old, weird, cool dumpster save bass that I don't really even remember how I ended up with this thing. I think somebody said that they had it, or a relative had it, didn't know what to do with it. They were going to throw it away or take it to Goodwill. I can't remember. But I went and looked at it, and I was like, well, I'll take it. And I quickly discovered some very weird and very cool and, unexplainable things about this instrument. First of all, it looks like a P bass, but it has one jazz pickup in it. Well, when I took it apart, I realized this is a wax-potted pickup. This is an old pickup and really nice wires and pots and a really nice wax potted pickup dipped in wax. So that's kind of like legit, And then I realized that the body is actually made out of mahogany, and you can see where it wore through there. You can see the burgundy color of the mahogany wood of the body. Now, and then the next thing that was really weird and probably the most unusual thing about this bass is that, well, it's a 32 scale, a little bit shorter than a regular P bass, but it has these brass frets. Now, I don't know if this is going to be in focus or if you're going to be able to see that, but look how they're in there. They don't have splines. They're inlaid into this big, thick, beautiful slab of rosewood, right? I've never seen that done before, and I asked several of my luthier friends, Carrie Nordstrand and others, if they have ever seen that before, and they have not seen it either. So they're like big, thick chunks of, they're like half as thick as a brass nut. You know what I mean? Like slices of brass that are just inlaid into the fingerboard. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it done like that before. And then the neck is made out of this white mahogany, and that's also kind of rare. All right, so who knows? It's got a faked. Someone put a Fender logo on it ages ago. That's fake, obviously. But it weighs about 7.5 pounds, lightweight. I got it strung with flats right now. Sounds good. Tuned it up before I started. There we go. frets play. All the frets play and it's in tune. You know, there's no buzz. Right? What more can you ask for? It works. You know, it's old, it's weird, it's cool, and it works. I put a different bridge on it. The bridge that was on it was impossibly bad. It just had two compensated saddles on it, and it was super, super flimsy and just basically falling apart. But I did have a vintage bent metal Fender bridge, so I put that on there. The pickguard was white. Looked terrible in my opinion, so I took it off and sanded it down so it wasn't shiny anymore and got it all dull, and then I spray painted it flat black. I think it looks a lot better. Now, if you want to like compare it to the side from a size standpoint, you know, this is what a regular one looks like. It's smaller. Everything's just a little bit smaller, you know, and God, what a fun bass. I'm just trying to show you how, you know, how it's usable. You know, everything about it is, there's nothing that you can't do on it. You know, some of these old crappy ones, it's like you can play down low. You know? But when you go to play up high on them, they're not functional up there. They got problems. They're out of tune and they buzz and they fret out, or they have all kinds of problems the further you go up on the neck. So a lot of the, you know, that's kind of the, you can kind of get a halfway decent down low kind of meat and potatoes kind of thing out of some of the old cheap ones. But when you try and play the whole entire instrument, it's not happening. The thing that really amazes me about this one is that it's set up. You know, it's set up in the neck. It doesn't have a truss rod. It just has this big, thick, well, it's not thick, it's thin this way. It's really, really thin. Actually, that's another important factor. In fact, it's so thin that the strings barely cover. So like you can roll off the top, you can push the string off the top, but with these big huge frets, you can play it everywhere without the strings falling off the neck. But anyways, it's thin, and there's no truss rod in it. But if you look down this neck, it's freaking straight as an arrow. This thing was going to go to a dumpster, and that'd been the end of it. That would have been the end of this thing. It would have been junked, and it was unplayable when I got it. It had one string on it, and the messed up bridge, and the electronics were not functioning. I put a little bit of time, and not much, a little bit of TLC into it. The frets were green. I didn't even realize they were brass until I started cleaning them. The fretboard had so much oxidation on it, it wasn't even brown, it was yellow when I got it. I sanded that down. And it's got these clay dots. It's got these aged clay dots. So this is old, and we were trying to figure out like where it was made and who might have made it and what era is it from? And we don't think that it's Asian. Maybe it's European. I don't know. Nobody knows. Everybody I asked has no idea. They've never seen frets like this. And then it's possible that it's completely homemade, I suppose, by somebody. Who knows? If anybody has ever seen these big, huge, thick brass frets, and the use of white mahogany in a neck and mahogany in a body, let me know. Maybe we can track it down. I've had it completely disassembled. There's nothing on it that indicates any kind of a brand. There's no serial numbers, or there's no stamps or anything. So it's a mystery. But the coolest thing about it is that it was destined for the trash heap. And now it's playing again. Now it's a plain, functioning, cool instrument. It weighs next to nothing and has a big, fat sound. And, it lives to play again, It lives to play again. I don't even know what it would be worth, but to me it's worth, a lot, because I probably wouldn't even want to sell it, because it's just too cool and too old and too weird, and it works. That's the big difference. Sometimes there's old things that suck. You know what I mean? Just because it's old doesn't mean it's cool. You know what I mean? If you can't play it, you could look at it, I suppose. You could hang it on the wall, or you could pick it up every once in a while, but you're not going to have any real legitimate use for it, because it only does a couple of things like I was talking about. Whereas something like this, I can play every fret. I can play every note on it, and they're all in tune. So very, very cool. So keep your eye out at the church rummage sales and the garage sales and in the attics and out by the road, because, a lot of the stuff that you'll come by will be garbage. But occasionally you'll come by something and it won't be garbage. It'll be a neat and nifty old thing that was actually well made. You know, they don't make things like they used to. And the older I get, the more I appreciate that about anything old. You know, I have a 1965 Chevy pickup, and you know, I have a few old instruments around here that you know, God, they just, you know, they put a lot of thought into making things that would last. All right, friends, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching all the videos. We'll see you next time. Peace.